Kadosh Boker Tov. We're continuing with halachot of the 3 weeks. Now we're going to the 9 days. We know that, as we already mentioned, that when we're doing the halachot of Avelut, we are going up gradually. So we started with the 3 weeks, and even within the 3 weeks, now we have the 9 days. Mishenichnas Av, once a month of Av comes in, Mema'atim besimcha, we are going to be Mema'et besimcha. Velachen, and therefore a Yisrael that he has Dinu Mishpat im Nochri. If a Jew has a judgment with a goy, so yishtadel lidchot mishpato le'achar Tisha B'Av, he should try to push it off until after Tisha B'Av. Ibn Roa Mazal Yisrael, because of the bad mazal that Yisrael has because of these days of calamities. V'tzarich lema'et, and a person has to minimize whether it's going to be masam matan shel simcha, for example, purchasing things for a chuppah. He shouldn't buy also gold and silver adornments, jewelry, not to build a bet chatun libno, right? The same halacha would apply even to build another house for himself, right? When he's making it just for pleasure and a bigger house. However, though, if he's buying it or he's actually just renovating for the basic necessities of what he needs for his family, so then the renovations is going to be permitted. Right? It is also proper that a person should not be mesayer utzayer betos, start painting and doing things in his house, but it is permitted to do it for a Bet Knesset, because in the Bet Knesset it's a mitzvah to beautify the Bet Knesset because of Ze'eli ve'aveu, and therefore anything which is tzorech mitzvah is going to be permitted even during the 9 days. To buy a new car, so if it's going to be that it's for their parnasah, which means that they need it for doing their job, so then it's going to be permitted. However, though, if it's just stam l'tayel, just stam to go around and to enjoy themselves, so then a person should refrain from that, unless, again, it's going to be a very cheap price now, and after Tisha B'Av, it is going to become, right, more expensive. We do remember that Rosh Chodesh Av is the only nachala that we have in the year where it's brought down on a Rosh Chodesh, which is Aaron HaKohen. Aaron HaKohen, we actually just read it recently, and it's going to be this Rosh Chodesh Av, so therefore the Rosh Chodesh in itself is the Nachala of Aaron HaKohen, and that's why there's differences between this Rosh Chodesh and other Rosh Chodesh. We'll speak about the eating meat, because we know that during the 9 days you're not allowed to eat meat. What about on Rosh Chodesh? So every year we speak about it, Bli Neder, we'll try to speak about it again. To do with what we mentioned, to do with the concept of buying or purchasing jewelry. So here he brings down that it is prohibited to buy, whether it's going to be rings or other jewelry, for a meshudechet, because there's a simcha in here. What does that mean? And that's also brought down in the Yigro Moshe. There's a simcha when a person comes and they buy jewelry, whether it's going to be for their coming bride or for their wife or for what happens, a person's happy. He enjoys it. He just bought a nice piece of jewelry. So therefore a person should refrain from it during the 9 days. That which we mentioned to do with going into a new house. So if it's going to be for something which is, again, basic necessities of your family, right? We said that it's permitted. Even to do a Chanukah Bayit with Limud Torah, and you're going to give out, you're going to do a Suda or even Migdarot, you're going to give out the different things, it's also going to be permitted as well, right? So that's also permitted to do the Sudat Chanukat Bayit, Chinuch Bayit, right? And he says, but if you're going to do it after Tisha B'Av, so then it's better to do it after Tisha B'Av, because then you could put on a new clothing, you can make Shechianu when you're doing the Chanukat Bayit. Okay, but again, this is all the differences between Bli Neder. We'll go through other halachot as well, but this is just a few things that we already mentioned about that once it comes the month of Av, a person should be more and more careful, because again, it's getting closer to Tisha B'Av, and the more that we get closer to Tisha B'Av, the more the Avelut, right, is going to become more intense, more stronger, and therefore a person should remember the destruction of the Bet HaMikdash.